My name's Michelle Rath. I'm the mother of Alex Rath, who was recently killed on a workplace accident. Alex was 23 when he passed away. He was my youngest son. I have two other sons. Curtis is 25 and Ashley is 27.
Alex was very much a go-getter. He moved out of home quite early. At the age of 18 he was gone, wanted to set up his own life. He was doing really well. Then when he moved into the apprenticeship, he really moved on with his life then. He knew what his career wanted to be. He had himself a young girlfriend at the time, which they got engaged. He had his man cave and his toys, and I used to love going up there with him and helping him on his property up there. And it was quite interesting. He would want to do things his way, and then I would do things my way. And you could see how he was just a natural at the engineering type skills and so on, then moving forward.
The day of Alex's accident, we received a phone call from his fiancée, Christy. Alex lived with Christy up in Lewiston, and Alex was on the job. She asked us to stay where we were that day, and I knew straight away that something had happened. I'd call it a sixth sense, a mother's gut feeling. Curtis was in his bedroom, and I raced down and told him that something bad had happened. And Christy asked us to stay where we were, and I knew. Time stood still for so long, waiting for that phone call or for somebody to show up and let us know what was going on. And when the police officer arrived on our doorstep, he came in and told us the bad news. The fatal shock, he was in a roof cavity on a routine job. After the police officer left, we had to go and share the news with my mother and the rest of the family who were all interstate. That was pretty hard. Least of all, our eldest son who was travelling interstate, knowing that we couldn't tell him at the time of the accident because it would be too dangerous. He was on the road, he was travelling for about 11 hours. So we had to prepare and get family to be there when he arrived in Wagga. And it was difficult. He didn't believe us. He thought we were joking. No parent would play that joke on any child. You know, everybody's grieving and we just all sat there stunned, and it's pretty much disbelief, and didn't talk for most of the time, but everybody had the same feeling, you know, that gut feeling, and just feel endless hole in your pit of your stomach. And yeah, we just continually had to let people know what had happened and organise time off work, and there was no time to just sit down and grieve. We had to organise our son's burial, and you know, to this day I'd just like to lay down and, you know, stay in bed for a week and deal with it. You know, some days are good, some days are bad. It's not something that's ever going to go away. It's going to be with us forever, and we have to learn to adapt. But it just feels empty now. You know, we used to always have, Alex would come in the door and, you know, there'd be noise. It's just silence now, and that I miss.
And now here we are all these months later, and how it's affected our family is that we aren't like a normal family. We finish work of the day and then we go back and see Alex, because it's still raw in our hearts, and it's something that we have to do. And even when I go away with work every now and again, I come home and the first thing I've got to do, I've got to go down and see him, just have a chat to him. And that's how it's affected our lives and everything that we do and think. It does bring it home of the current lifestyle we have now, and it will remain until we finish our lives out, because it's not going to change. This has happened. It's a permanent change to our life. We see people enjoying themselves, going out, partying. We can't do that as yet because we're still the emotional effect on all of us is pretty bad. But each day it gets slowly a little bit better, but it'll never ever go away.
The reason we're talking to you about this today is because we don't want any family to have to deal with the consequences of what we're having to deal with now. And that's life without our son, our brother, fiancé. Nobody can understand what you're going through unless you've been there. And to this day, we're never going to see him again. And we have to learn how to accept that. But we don't want anybody else to have to be in our shoes.
When you're out on the job, there are rules and regulations that are there to protect your safety. Therefore, you are to be compliant with those rules. Because if you make a mistake, the outcome could be, yes, you may have a minor injury or a near miss, but then again, it could be fatal.
And it hurts that day knowing that when he got up that morning, he didn't know that he wasn't coming home. That still hurts today. I think of that often.